all the money you've made and all the successes that you can count, you're impacting people already. Why did you choose to then blend it with politics?
Oh, okay. So I mentioned that I genuinely believe that my calling is about people.
Right.
It's about impacting people. And I sat down and I said, oh my God, me going into politics now, I feel like I've come into full circle now. Because when I started the magazine, I just thought I just wanted to tell great stories, right? I didn't know the impact of what I was trying to do. It's when I started and I kept going even when things were hard, that I realized I saw the impact and my calling in that. So it's always been about people because I wanted to use the magazine to impact people.
Okay.
And then from using the magazine to impact people, then I saw that, I love to tell great stories about women because I was mentoring young people and I'm hearing people say, my mentor is Oprah, my mentor is what, and I was like, what about the Ghanaians?
Well, what about
So I started doing the Ghana Female CEOs, Ghana Women of the Year, all of that so that these young girls can see that, I want to be like these other women from Ghana, right? So it's all about impacting people. And for me, politics is people. Politics is about people. And from what I was doing, I got called to be the UN Goodwill Ambassador, which I got my appointment straight from New York. And they had never appointed anybody in Ghana. And you think that you are working, you don't see what people are actually watching what you're doing, right? So I have served as a UN Goodwill Ambassador for over 5-6 years. And after all of that, and I started working, really going down to the grounds, like wanting to do more for the less privileged and going into, towns, villages all around our country in the north with women in fistula. I'll go to some central region with young girls with teenage pregnancy. So I was loving that. It was like, I get up and I'm so joyful, I have so much joy because I feel like I'm going in to change something. And politics is about change. And I think that's what led me to that, to now wanting to make an impact, and started with my constituency where I was born and raised.
I don't know why my pen fell, but it fell maybe because God doesn't want me to ask this question. The next one I've got because it was coming out with heat. It was coming out with heat. I read extensively.
Yeah.
I read several things.
I can tell.
And I have a lot of people that I speak with.
Yeah.
Some of these people, they have been part of the earlier people who started, certain things for this country. But there's something I understand when it comes to leadership and politics. Politics or governance at a higher level is for control. It's for stealing.
Oh.
I'm just saying that any level of governance, banking, that higher level is for command, control, stealing.
Okay, can I come in quickly before I lose my thoughts? Okay. So control, I agree with you, because when you are in leadership position, whether you're a CEO for your own company or whatever you're managing, you are in a control position, right? Because you are controlling something. But what I would tell you is, if the wrong people are in the control position, that's when we have a problem. And I am I'm 44, I'm going into 45, right? But I don't want, because I have seen and I was tired of seeing the people that were in control of my future and that of my children. And if I believe that I've built enough maturity and enough character and enough resilience and a strong mind, and I can be in a control position, but now, you have somebody with character in control. Why would I want to serve my country? Why would I want to sit there and be a spectator and just give comments? No, that's not the kind of person I am. So I agree with you on control. But if all of us are going to say, and because we think that politics, we say, is dirty, we're going to sit there and allow the people who don't have character and allow the people, and I must say that Ghana actually is blessed. We've had great leaders in control position, but also we've had bad ones as well. But, what about 10 years down the line, 15 years down the line, 20 years down the line? Who are the people who are going to be in that control?
Right.
I want to be part of that because I know I've built enough character to be in that control position. So
this is what, I mean, I didn't really finish that question. I won't finish it, but I think that was an amazing, the reason I won't finish it is because that was an amazing submission. But you see, this is why, in most cases, politicians are threatened by entrepreneurs. Because anytime an entrepreneur rises in the ladder of success, they want to enter that seat of influence and control. So when they also are there and they look at entrepreneurs, they want to step on you guys. And I'm taking myself out of the picture.
No, I understand.
And to make life
because
difficult.
our approach is different.
Yes.
Right? An entrepreneur's approach, when they have control, is different. Especially when you meet one that's really good. Yeah. Because the way we think, we've created, and I told somebody, I said, you know, and I know people are threatened by me, even in political circle, right? Because of what I can do with that space. Okay. But my thing is, of course, you can be threatened by me because I have built a brand that didn't exist and I've built it into a global brand that people know about, right? So if you give me brand a constituency, you think I cannot grow that and make it the most, set it as an example, I can build that. Do you get what I mean? Okay. I've created something that didn't exist. You understand? So that attitude and that mindset and that energy and that mindset and that, spirit, everything is what I am taking into that position to change something. So whichever portfolio you give to me in government, you're giving big portfolios to people who've never run a business before, people who've never employed anybody before, people who've never created something before, and you give them biggest national portfolios. How do you expect them to run them?
Yeah. I did say that, I don't like talking about politics. And I don't know how, I didn't even write this question down. I don't know how that came, but I'm so sorry, guys. I don't talk about politics, but I've still got more questions.
It's about leadership.
It's about leadership, yeah. For me, it's always, what can you do for your people without being called a politician?
And I actually don't like the word.
Has a negative.
I don't like the word. And I still say it. And people say, Claudia, you're a politician. I said, I am not a politician. But I think it will come out and through the work that you do. You get what I mean? Like when I went to my constituency, I showed them a person.
Okay.
You understand? I showed them a human being. And that's why when I'm not there, if anytime people hear that I'm coming to that constituency, it's like light. People tell me that, Madam, and when you're not there, it's like you've taken the lights out. And when you come out, everybody, it's like the smiles, even how the warmth you give to people. And I told you, I see people. I go to people that are sick and naturally I'll just sit on the floor with the person because I saw you sitting on the floor. So I see you and naturally my thing is to also sit on the floor. I go to market, Abubush, wherever, like disability place, and I just lift the children because that's me. That's me. It's a person, it's the people. And I think that, time will always, allow people to tell and see. But you just have to do what you're doing. And I am at my best when I am representing something and especially impacting a lot of people. And in politics, you're able to touch a lot of people. Okay. It's how you are going to touch them because that's where you're making decisions and you're leading people, you're making decisions and things that affect thousands and millions of people, right? And that gives me a bigger calling. And I don't take it for granted. And I understand what my influence is in this country. And I understand when the day that I posted that I was standing in my constituency, I saw a lot of young people on social media. And even in America, what did they call it? The Black Caucus or something like that. People that were tweeting and said, this is the kind of leadership we want to see in Africa. So I understand the influence and what my brand is and where I'm going. And I do not take that for granted. And I want to see a certain type of leadership 10 years down the line, 5 years down the line. If God allows us and we're still alive, I want to see that. And I want to be part of that. And I'm hoping that my journey would encourage other young people not to stay away from politics. Because whether you like it or not, politics is our way of life. Whatever decision is made, whether you like it or not, it affects you. And I don't want people to distance themselves so much from it. You can be part of that decision, make that control. But I am hoping that Africa will get into the right hands of control. And if not now, at least in 10, 15 years' time.
I really shouldn't have spoke about this. But I still have more questions. One more. Almost every leader in that capacity is sponsored. From the presidents to the MPs to the ministers, they're sponsored to get in that seat. You have a successful business that is running. Don't you think that all the good things that you have that you want to do for your constituency or for the people to lead, don't you think people who are backing you financially will then begin to control what you do for them?
I'll tell you something. That is the perception. And you think that everybody is sponsored. It's not everybody that's sponsored. You do get, when I was standing, and anybody will tell you, who are the people who sponsored me to go to my constituency? I did it myself. Nobody sponsored me to go to my constituency.
I will sponsor you.
But it's also, I tell you what, it's not because I couldn't find people to do it.
Okay.
But I'm trying to do what you just said because I do not want so many people interfering in my journey.
Right.
If you become part of my journey, it's because I'm telling you, God, or I have, and it's not in any cocky way, but I have accepted you to be part of my journey. That's why you're part of it. So I could have gone to people or whatever, but I said that I want to do this and I still want to be graceful in this position and in this journey that I'm going in, right? I don't want somebody to tell me that, oh, I gave Claudia this, and before you know, it's just $1,000 something.
$1,000.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
But and of course, you do get people that support you and fund you.
Okay.
And also when even projects that you want to do in future, because I am not somebody that believes that, and sometimes I say with some members of parliament, and I say it, that I don't believe that central bank should be the people. You should sit here and wait for central bank to bring funding before you can do things that will impact the people that so much need it. What about you doing proposals yourself and going out there and looking for sponsors? If you want to build a maternity clinic, why do you need to sit there and wait for parliament, finance to bring? And women are already dying. Couldn't you have done a proposal and gone around corporate institutions? Because people want to be part of this. And that's why I tell you that when you bring an entrepreneur, somebody who's run and created businesses into positions of control like that, we're actually quite serious. Do you get what I mean? Because I am not going to sit there and wait for money to come from central bank before I action something I want to do. I'll go and look for sponsorship. I did the biggest AstroTurf in my constituency, first ever to be done, and really the biggest size in terms of size in the Ashanti region. Did I use I went into pitch to corporate institutions, and somebody came in as a corporate brand to build it. So I believe that it's the people that want the control, and the control is in their hands, as you say.